Support for this podcast comes from the patrons at patreon.com/FMLFPL. Okay! Welcome to FMLFPL Milan.
This Walsh.
What's up, bud?
Gameweek 1 in the books.
Oh my God.
Monday fun day. Lot to go over as ever when we do our first season beginning episode.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
How
I mean,
about
we're already splitting duties. Like, you watch this game, I'll watch this game, so we know what to talk about. Like, It's just like every game is interesting. Every player could be a pick until they're not a pick. I guess we'll start with how we did, right? Because that's what people really care about.
Yeah, that's
people
typically
really tune in for this.
Yeah, really. Seriously.
Team Walsh, I'm not going to scroll. Let me scroll up a bit. I'm not going to scroll down to disgusting things that are down there. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that.
So, 70 points.
Good
Start. Good. Down a chip. Didn't contribute too strong. Contribute too strongly with my. Yeah, I mean, I got 4-point bench boost, which is hard to do. I
Breaking
think.
records already.
It's hard to do. So I had Areola, Rogers, Mitchell, and Barco on my bench. 1 Areola, 2 Rogers, 1 Mitchell. Barco famously is on the list. Didn't go well. I mean, my thinking about what the bench boost was, obviously I was trying to get ahead. Didn't help contribute in that regard.
+4.
Sure, +4. But I didn't sell out my team to stack my bench by having like a huge squad of 15 where I have all these 5 million guys or 6'5" guys or
like pick guy. You also didn't pick guys you don't like just because they have a good game week 1. They actually kind of all had bad game week 1s except Barco.
I mean, the fixtures for my bench guys weren't great. They were more like, if I get 1 return in 4 and I get minutes played for the other 3, I'm happy.
Fine. Totally
was what I was shooting for, and none of the above happened.
Yeah.
I got 1 DNP and 3 blanks. Not even blanks. I mean, 1 pointers from 2 of them. But didn't work. Okay, we move. You know, I'm sure we'll spend more time talking about it or the process or whatever, however it looks. But
what about you? Just read off the rest of your team, because
sure. So So I ended up with Sells and Areola instead of Henderson and Flecken.
Yep.
Really because I wanted Mitchell instead of Henderson. That's really the biggest
late
reason
arrival of Mitchell.
Yeah. I mean, I had been playing with Mitchell a lot during the preseason.
Yeah.
He was in and out, and I was looking at teams where I have Munoz and Mitchell, and I kind of just kept looking at the fixtures for us and thinking they're really not good enough to have 2 defenders.
Yeah.
And as I was looking more at the landscape of the defenders, and I thought more about how I thought our wingbacks would play, they're just both great picks. And they only need 2 cleans and 7, for me to think that they're going to buoy also with the attacking returns at like a low end kind of outcome. And that's sort of where I landed on that. I just like him, like the player, like the setup. And he almost scored a goal, almost got an assist. Like, Mitchell was in the box, looked amazing. So I'm happy I ended up there.
Obviously it's a 1-pointer, a 4-pointer. You didn't light the world on fire, but by what actually happened in the game, it seems like you made 2 good picks.
Yeah, I mean, Munoz didn't get as forward as Mitchell did. It seemed like we were kind of progressing through Eze a little bit more, and Kamada was kind of in and out, and then he faded in the second half for about 10 minutes before he got subbed early. Mateta was off it. He looked like he just needed to rest and not play that much. He only played a half. And then,
surprised he even started.
Yeah, he must have just been okay for 45. We're like, go do it. And then, I mean, it was clearly a pre-planned sub to me that, he'd play half. And, Edward came on and he's horrendous. So, that didn't help our cause. But yeah, so anyway, so I have Mitchell, Munoz, Porro. I ended up with Zinchenko, which was the most last minute of last minute inclusions. Really just hoping to get game week 1, game week 3 starts. And then, that was a spot I would either downgrade, upgrade, kind of like a flexible spot. But I was just looking for points there, and 5 million. So far, so good. Got me 6, subbed early. Then midfield, I have Gordon, Bowen, Eze, Jota, and then Rodgers, who I have on the bench. Bowen just looks like it was a mistake. I felt something going on there with Bowen, and you were you were not very, you were not very, it was very clear what you thought about that, and I didn't listen. And watching that game, it was pretty painful. And so I might move him on this week. We'll have to see how things fall. And then I had Kai, Haaland, and Isak. Very happy I stuck with Kai. Yep. And Haaland and Isak don't really need much discussion. So that's the squad. 70 points. Good shape. The bench boost didn't work. Would I do it again? Yeah. Would I do it the same way? Maybe not. Maybe I didn't sell out enough to make use of it with this idea of trying to get ahead. But that's something I have to spend more time thinking about and looking at.
Yeah, you say that, but I think Barco is the really wild card in the mix there, because if you had any inkling he wasn't going to play, Mitchell would and Barco would have turned into 2-4-5s.
Yeah, well, not even that. I have 5.5 in the bank.
Oh yeah.
I could have just made him dunk.
You could have made him anyone.
Anybody. So
there were so many cleans, but
that was I left 0.5 in the bank.
Both me and you thought there was literally 0% chance of him not starting. At least game week 1, just game week 1.
He just can't be fit. That's the only thing I could possibly distill. He was on the bench and he doesn't sub on, and the game was gone.
Plays there, and it's what?
He was in and out of the team all preseason. He's a right footer. It was just perplexing.
Very, very, very weird. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it. That's it for me. And then the sells. The sells concession was a real dagger.
Yeah,
it affected a lot of people. A lot of people had a share of NFO defense this week, and so some things went my way. Some things didn't. That red card, that affected pretty much everyone. But overall, happy to be on 1.3 million, which for game week 1 is
really good.
Yeah, really good. And I'm going to triple cap Haaland this week, so hopefully I go up again, and that'll be nice. So we'll see. All right, what about you?
62.
So read your team out.
Yeah, not quite reaching the heights. So I went Hendo in goal, Foro backup, Poro, Trent, Nico Williams. Trent's good. Barco and Leaf Davis was a kind of last minute inclusion, but I'm just kind of
there.
I was just I'm into this. The idea of starting him from game week 3, super attacking wing back on all the set pieces. I was I'm there. When they just have 12 good fixtures in a row. Barco obviously scum. Yeah. My midfield: Gordon, Smith Rowe, Doku, Mo. So just a series of 3-pointers there. Basically under 50% of my team returned, but I'm very fine with my team. I don't think any of my picks were oh, this was obviously really bad. And then Sangare is my 4-5 mid, so I didn't go 8th attacker, which was also kind of a late change. Doku could have been a 6-0 or a 5-5, and then I spread it out a little bit more, but I was just fuck it. Maybe I'll have to wildcard early, but I'm also okay with that. And I was high on Doku, and I just wanted to get my money on the pitch. And then forwards Muniz, Isak, Haaland. So kind of where I was day 1 where the game opened with the forwards, and haven't changed. So, still feel fine.
Yeah. And we both kept Isak.
Yeah, both kept Isak. So as soon as the red card, it was just oh, cool. Yeah, we both have Isak and Gordon and kept Isak. It's just fuck off.
Yeah. That was fun.
I'm mostly happy with my team. I'm looking good for game week 2. Yep. Obviously I didn't do the free hit, no Haaland free hit 2 strategy, which would probably be on plus 30 points right now, but I wouldn't have Haaland. So having Haaland and Doku going into home Ipswich feels good. And I stuck with my guys, and they both returned. Only Nate was smart enough to captain Mo in our little Pod Boys league, but team's fine. I'm fine with it. 3 mil, totally fine.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the funny thing. It's the difference between 3 mil and 1.3 is 5 points or whatever.
Yeah.
What do we have? We have
8 points.
So yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
like
it's
a
like
clean sheet or whatever.
my brother texted me like asking how I did this week. I was like, fine. And he's like, oh, it's better than bad. And I was like, actually, it's good. Like
Yeah,
if you're
fine is good.
fine
Yeah.
with no fires after game week 1 is like, that's really good. That's the best you could ask for pretty much.
Yeah.
Let me do league updates. First league updates of the season. So the Mug League is up and running. Sam, aka Palmerham, 101 pointer in first place. No chips. No chips, no Holland. No problem. Sam just hit every fucking pick. Lars Janssen, aka Dominator 2000 on 97 points. And Imad G, aka All Men Must Daish on 96 points. Addendum, if you're one of these people who scored like 100 points in your game week 1 and then after game week 1 you sign up for the Mug League to try and scam a mug, we know and you will be dealt with. So don't be doing that. It's not nice thing to do. Yeah. We fought with many Reddit scum before and we'll fight again.
Yeah, you can dispute the charge on your credit card after. You don't get a mug all you want. You're not getting a mug.
You're not getting a fucking mug. That's for sure. And then shout out to the another bench booster, leader of the public league, Jordan Pierce, aka Glendowie Goonies. Good job by everyone there.
Cool.
Where do we begin, dude? There's too much.
Too much.
The net is too wide. There's too many fishies.
There are a lot of fish.
What if we just start with Mbeumo?
You want to just go right there from the top?
Yeah, I mean, Abdul said Mbeumo straight in. I know he has hard fixtures, but if you think about it, those fixtures kind of suit him. Arnie Slot and X50 said, if Tony leaves, should Mbeumo just be in every team? He has Pool, Spurs, City all away next 4. Might be a game week 6 move. And then Catfink kind of summed it all up. He said, is it easier to discuss which mids you wouldn't sell for Mbeumo next week? Yeah. Because that's really the bottom line.
Yeah.
Is Bowen to Mbeumo happening? Like, is that the team launch move?
I need to see the Tony move confirmed. Here we go first. Yeah. Providing that. It's just so much. Like, this is the kind of thing that old me would be like, no, fuck Mbeumo. I was on him all preseason.
Oh, because you'd be tilted, you mean?
Yeah, I'm just so tilted that it's like, I'm on him. Like, he was not, him and Eze were like the most immovable picks in my team. Yep. I'm sitting here with Bowen, who I'm like, I was just trying to find someone to get me to feel something.
Like.
Yeah. And meanwhile, he's Frank. He's in the squad. He's happy. He's training. He's going to play. I'm like, all right. I mean, Igor's hurt for 2 months. I'm like, okay, I guess they're going to do a January move. And then bam, it's just like immediately, nope. Like he's going to fucking, he's going to the oil barons. And yeah, Mbeumo's the best midfielder pick probably in the game. No Europe. Pens. Yeah. He was taking corners, indirect set pieces. I mean, him and Eze are 1A and 1B to me in this, category. I mean, Eze is also, I think he might even be better than Mbeumo. I mean, Eze took like 10 shots. I think he had actual like 6 or 7 shots.
I got away with absolute murder there.
He scored. The ref just, it was his first game in his life in the division. So he was just freaking out the whole game. The ref, first game ever.
Okay,
first game ever. But yeah, Mbeumo, I've been talking about Eze instead of Mbeumo. Yeah, Mbeumo is just playing out of position. He has every single thing a midfielder that you would want to have. And he's unbelievable. I think the bigger thing is the fixtures, right? It's at Liverpool, at City, 2 of the next 3, and then at Spurs, which, is probably not bad.
At Spurs is different category than the other 2. Yeah.
And then home Southampton in between those. So do you want to wait until, the next 3 pass and then maybe you look at it? Do you want to go kind of jump early? I don't know. His stats. His stats underlyingly and the way that Brentford looked against us. They were good for like 15 minutes or so, and the rest of the game.
They were good on the counter, but they were very much playing on the counter. They were obviously like the second best team, but play on the counter.
Yeah, which, you look at their fixtures, and if they're playing that way, home pass, and they played 3 up, they still did this weird kind of bussy thing. But how many games are they going to really, be dominating front foot, this kind of thing? But all this said, he's 7 million. He's just an incredible pick. The incredible pick that we talked about him being with Tony gone. Post-mortem, long earlier, and then the Igor injury happens and all of this fucking dragged out shit, and then Frank and blah, 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 blah. So, what are you looking at with him?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good time to revisit that stuff, the postmortem, the preseason pods, where it's just like, if Tony's not there, he's automatic, immovable, literally first name in everyone's team kind of player.
Yeah.
Things changed. I mean, I think he should be high on everyone's list. I just don't know. I mean, obviously it's team dependent. Like if you were like, I'm doing Bowen to him, I would have no problem with that. I think that most people should probably preach patience here. Like even with Bowen, like we talked about it sort of right after that match, the West Ham match, is like he had like 6 or 7 or 8. I don't even remember games with 0 shots last season in a season where he scored like 16 goals. Like that's just who he is. He's not like a shot monster, and West Ham are kind of bad, and he's just like kind of clinical some seasons. So, I don't think it's like emergency. Oh my God, you made the fucking worst pick. I can't believe you have Bowen, because he'll get his goals. You don't really know when, but he'll get his goals. But if you were to do him to Mbeumo, I'd have no problem with that. But like if people are doing like Gordon to Mbeumo or Eze to Mbeumo or like any other really good pick,
I have a problem with that.
I have a problem with that. Yeah,
even
I really
like Bruno, I don't. Unless if you're, and
Jota.
especially when it's Jota now. I mean, that's a move that probably will line up well if you do wait for game week 4 or something. Like people that have Jota going there is going to be nice. And I mean, like going down from Bruno, for example. I mean, unless if you. What are you taking a hit right now to put the 1.5 somewhere? I mean, I could see that move being fine as long as it's for free and you're putting the 1.5 from like injured Porro to Trent or so, then it's like, okay, right. I would rather have that combo. But I mean, who you replace it, a lot of people have 6-5 mids or 5-5 mids. I mean, no one's, sitting there with all this money in the bank, really looking. So I think the question is, is a good one about who would you or wouldn't you sell, right?
Yeah, who would you sell is the harder one. Like,
what if you have
Nkunku? What if you have Nkunku?
But you also have the money. I mean, how many? Yeah, and he has a good fixture run, and he was lively.
Right.
I mean, Chelsea look competent. So I mean, it's Mbeumo. This is the thing with Mbeumo. It's interesting and also really difficult to peg. Is you are putting a lot of stress on the home Southampton fixture for getting points there because you're not really expecting returns against Liverpool or City, and also he could walk away from those 3 games with 3 returns easily. He could get 1 against 2 of the good teams and then 2 against Southampton or something. They
easily.
Get a pen, And, I just, bad fixtures for Mbeumo when he's someone like, I'm like, oh my God, he's just fucking so good.
Yeah. And Penn's. Yeah. Penn's the great equalizer of anything. He could just get a random Diash, sticks his hand up on a corner, they get a pen, and he's just best pick in the game. Should have had him. Obvious.
Yeah, he's going to be in every team by game week 8 or so.
Yeah, assuming they don't make any moves or keep Tony or something weird. Like, he'll be in every single team.
Yeah. And I want to get him early. He is someone I just want to, I feel like there is a little edge there where people are going to wait and preach patience, and he could light Southampton up. I mean, having him, even people are going to look at the Spurs fixture and be like, I could wait till game week 6. And that's a really good fixture for him. Yeah. So, I don't know.
And I mean, Liverpool did concede counters. I mean, none of them led to actual chances, but like there were 2 guys running at 2 center backs. Like that did not happen. Like Liverpool corners, it seemed like when they were the most, exposed and, to these Ipswich counters. And like, if you replace the bad Ipswich players with like Mbeumo, Shada, and Wissa, it's like that would have probably turned into a big chance. But like, Omari Hutchinson and Delap didn't turn it into a big chance. So, maybe even the way Liverpool, maybe that's just like a hidden gem that we should all be jumping on him on. I could see that argument. But, like my team, for example, like there's no chance. Actually, no chance. Yeah. I have nothing in the bank, so I can't even do Doku to him. Doku, who has home Ipswich, and I think he'll start. I'm not doing Gordon to him because Gordon's still really good and has good fixtures. And I'm not doing Mo, so it's just like there's no shot. I mean, should I consider Gordon? I don't think so.
I don't know. I mean, we got a fucked up data point with the Southampton game with 10 men.
Nothing. Throw that game away.
Yeah, and they have really good fixtures. I think he is similar. I mean, he doesn't have pens, but he's just an amazing pick, and he's not someone you have to really look at. And we expect Newcastle to function well. And again, 1 game a week there. Yeah. I mean, for you, it looks more like it's the Doku spot, and finding the 0.5s is going to be a little tricky. You might have to wait until maybe doing like Muniz down to a 5-5 or something like that when their fixtures turn a little bit. You can maybe time that out.
Yeah, I'll probably have to wait.
I mean, you have to wait.
Ideal world is like I'm going into Gameweek 5. It's September, so we know Tony's gone or whatever, and I'm on like 3 or 4 frees. That would be the dream, but probably won't happen, but it could.
It could happen.
And then I just make like 3 moves and reorganize whoever's like someone like Smith Rowe also, right? Obviously, I need 1.5 to get there, but I got him for the first 3. I didn't get him thinking like this is my like long-term great pick.
Yep.
So maybe it's like game week 4 or 5. It's like a Smith Rowe and someone else for money double move. And like I could see that, but
yeah, that's a problem for future you. But I mean, in the immediate term, you just don't have a route, and he's someone that you're looking. I mean, the other thing too, he's only 7, so he can price rise a little bit, and he's not going to price rise and skyrocket with these tough fixtures. It's not going to happen. Yeah, but.
I mean, I always think back to, this was another postmortem thing. It was a minor one, but Palmer's the greatest underpriced asset of all time in the history of the game by a lot. And he went up 1.3 over the like 38 game weeks, I think. Yeah. Like the price rises, it's going to happen eventually, but like, calm down. He's not going to go up 2 million and it's like, oh my God, he's fucking premium now. It's like,
yeah, totally.
It's okay.
Yeah. All right. So Mbeumo got that boxed.
Good pick. Good pick.
Great player. Great pick.
Yeah. Where do you want to go?
God. I mean, Brighton are really interesting to me.
So you watched that game live. I only saw highlights. So what can you tell me about that?
Yeah. I mean, they were just boising all over the place.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, Everton were undermanned and
a red card.
Generally poor. They had little 5-minute intervals and patches. They started off brightly. They probably were good for a goal, in the first like 20 minutes, and then they just ceased to exist. But
it seemed like all their chances were offside. I mean, this is just based on highlights, but I was like, oh, sick goal, offside. Oh, big chance, offside. It was like, oh, pen,
there was like a
VAR'd out.
Yeah, there was like a pen shout, but I mean, Welbs, it's just the interchange. Mitoma was phenomenal. Yeah. He looked better than I remember him. It's been a couple of years, so maybe it just has been a couple of years, but he was cutting in and cutting like far, like back posts. When the ball was on the right wing, and he was just so dangerous. And he could have scored a couple. And so, he's a little bit of a forgotten man, but he was definitely he was definitely their danger man. Definitely their best player. And Minto was a little bit of a handful until, he had the kind of controversial early sub. Don't know exactly what was going on there, but
I mean, I saw the replay. I mean, his head went like directly into Mikalenko's elbow and he was just concussed, like instant concussion sub.
Yeah, that's possible. And then, either way. I mean, to me, what the sub is, I think the sub was unusual because you can't necessarily, I mean, I'm not a doctor, obviously, but they looked at him for about 90 seconds. And
okay. So you don't see that kind of stuff on highlights.
It was stoppage time of the first half.
Yeah.
And he made the sub in stoppage time of the first half instead of just play with 10 men for 80 seconds and then bring him in at half and like, let's take a look at like, what are we doing here? What's going on?
I see.
And, I mean, I guess it's just, maybe he has a new putt. It's like, if you take a banger to the head like that, I'm just going to take you off immediately.
I think you have to probably decide immediately, or like someone has to decide or it's not a concussion sub or something.
But then you wait till the halftime and it doesn't count against your 3 anyway. So it's like, you know what I mean? Or you get a 6th sub.
Yeah, you get a 6th sub if you use concussion sub.
Yeah. Either, I mean, whatever. We're changing the majority. It doesn't matter. And he looked pretty good. He's very difficult to deal with, just much like preseason. He's playing against an 80-year-old over there in at fullback anyway, this game. But,
Mikalenko's not an 80-year-old, but he fucking runs like one.
Yeah, I mean, him and Young, you can't even pick them apart. You can't tell them apart from a lineup.
I felt bad for Mikalenko because I was like, he's based on highlights, again, I didn't watch the match. It seems like Mint is going to do this to a lot of left backs. He's not the only one.
Yeah.
But he's the first one. So everyone's like clipping it, like post it, like, you know.
Yeah. And I mean, like Milner playing all these minutes was like an unusual thing. And
very weird.
Yeah, Hinchell, but they were just good spacing, like moving the ball around, you know, really pulling Everton out of shape and all over the place. And you know, I mean, he was playing fucking like Veltman, you know, I mean, he's playing some guys that we kind of forgot about.
Yeah.
Dinger came on, he was a lot worse than Minta, but they look good. You know, I mean, Mitoma's a pick, definitely a pick. João Pedro is kind of keeping things stitching together. And, you know, for the meantime, you know, with pens, he'll find goals. I think he'll get goals. Fine.
Hit the post.
But like game week 4, Ipswich home, NFO, game week 5 home, you know. And it's like, you know, home Wolves. Yeah, they're going to just be, I think, good, you know, a good team, fun to watch. So I was really enthused by that.
I can't believe how young the manager is.
Yeah, he's like 34 or something.
Yeah, he's younger than us. His post-match, he was just like a shy, awkward nerd is the best way I would describe him. He was just like, I'm kind of shy, so I didn't want to go to the fans. But like, the players should go to the fans. I was like, okay, dude.
Yeah. He's like not used to press because he's never managed in the first division before.
Yeah, he was tier 2 in Germany. But I mean, we should just bring up Barco. X50 asks, like, I'm sure you guys will talk about this anyway, but Barco, I had him on bench boost. I feel like a complete idiot. Was this just bad luck, or is there some lesson we can take from this about nailedness in preseason friendlies? Because that was the big shock in the Brighton team sheet.
Yeah, and I mean, I haven't scoured the Brighton, you know, fan message boards or looking for, you know, little parcels of quotes from Hertzler on this, but I don't think there is anything to learn. You know, he was, they played a right back at left wing back. I think he's not fit.
It's not even a right back. He's Hinchelwood.
Yeah, he's a right mid. I don't know what he is exactly, but he's. You know, he didn't play the last friendly, but then he was like everything, all the indications were that he was fit and he was just being, you know, wrapped up in cotton wool, as they say over across the pond, because he's the only player that plays that position on the team. Yes. And they weren't wrong because Hinchelwood went over there and didn't really do anything. Like he didn't threaten. He was playing a lot of defense. I mean, he just didn't add anything. Yep. And there's no question that if Barco was playing in his spot, they would have looked better to me. And, you know,
and the corners would have been better too.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that much.
I mean, the long-term outlook was always suspect because they had, you know, Fetty coming in and, you know, is he going to be a right or left? Milner's playing right wing back. I mean, you know,
Stupignan's in training.
Purvis is in training. So that's probably at latest game week 4. So, you know, I think, you know, people that got Barco were very aware that, you know, past game week 3, it's a huge question mark. Yeah. And also, you know, they're trying to grab a start here or there, you know, at Everton, they cleaned. And if he played, they probably also would have cleaned.
Easy clean.
With also the upside of being, you know, maybe this kid is actually fucking like Trent or something.
Yeah.
I mean, they bought him for a lot and he's looked competent in the few minutes and games that he's played. So, you know, it's back to
high prospect in Argentina. They really like
you know,
there.
there's a lot of upside ways that it could have gone well. And, you know, this I think is something you can't really adjudicate for, and it's just bad luck to me. Really is just bad luck.
Yeah, I think I agree. Maybe we jump to Man United quick because you brought up Bruno before, and I think that like everyone's you know going crazy. I mean, it's so funny when there's a Friday game because it feels like 2 weeks ago I watched that game. Like watched 80 hours of football in between then and now. And Bruno was ridiculous. Like we also got away with murder in that game because he should have had at least a goal, but he could have had 2 or 3, could have had an assist too, but he was mostly just doing striker stuff.
Well, he was playing striker for most of the game.
He was playing striker and doing striker stuff. And picks up, what are your thoughts on Bruno? I like the look of him with Mount on the pitch, less so in the second half with Xerxes, but like, I don't care about that. Like,
I care about that a lot.
Okay.
Because to me, once Xerxes came on, he went back to playing normal position. Like when he was playing striker, he was the striker and he was getting striker chances. Yeah. And when I saw Xerxes coming on, he was dropping back, you know, he's picking the ball up at, you know, midfield, he's picking it off the defensive line and he's back to the old Bruno of like, he's just kind of everywhere.
Yeah.
But you saw it differently?
Yeah, I just saw more just like his individual form as like kind of picking up where we left off the end of last season. I was just like, oh man, he just looks so good. He's so obviously their best player. So obviously the best player on the pitch by a wide margin.
Yeah,
and I'm like, he'll play some forward, he'll play some 10, he'll play some deep, but his points are coming. Like that's how I saw that game. I was just like, he's just going to get a lot of points.
Yeah, I think to me, it's more like, he's going to get his pen, he's going to get his points, but he's going to get his points in the same way he's gotten his points the last few years when he finished the season at 166, 176, 151. And
they have bad fixtures.
And they have some tough fixtures. But to me, if he's just playing the normal Bruno role of, basically free roll from anywhere, can go, pop up anywhere.
Yeah.
But his shots are going to be more from outside the box, more from, as he's the late runner, so he'll get some back post, some this and that.
Yeah.
But if he's playing striker, it's like, oh my God, this is this is an auto, one of the best picks in the game. So,
which he might also.
He might, yeah. I mean, he's the manager keeps talking about Xerxes, not being ready. I don't know what that means or what that is all about.
It did seem like he was kind of lost to me. I mean, like obviously he scored the winner, but like he was kind of just like, I don't know where to press and I don't know who to mark and I don't know like what to do before that.
Yeah. And, he's coming into a game, the last 20, 30 minutes and and he's young and all of this. So to me, it's like, I think it's almost like an emergency buy. You need to get Bruno if he's going to be playing striker. And I just don't know when we'll know that because to me, I also see the way that they look and, Ahmad just isn't, to me, a first-team player right now and put Garnacho in. Like, I still
Ahmad
think he's not ready. He's not good enough. I don't know whatever you want to say, but, for me, I just feel like their best team is with Rash playing there, and Bruno going everywhere. Like Bruno is vacated from all creative areas, just, playing up top, which for FPL you want, but for the team functioning, I'm like, they're not doing that much, and he did get a couple of really big chances.
He got huge chances. Yeah.
I'm talking out of both. Fulham created.
Yeah, Leno.
Bassey fucking doing dumb shit.
Bassey was horrible.
Yeah. So, I'm kind of talking out of both sides of my mouth with this, but to me, it's like their best team is Garnacho, Rash, maybe Mount. Maybe that's the front. I don't know. Mount's weird.
The thing that I go back to with this is that like the Kai thing from last year, right? Like Kai plays one game at striker, Arsenal win, he plays great. And we're like, but like he's probably not going to keep playing striker, right? He plays striker for the next 15 games and is like the best pick in the game over that time. We're saying like he might not play striker. Fucking obviously that's true. We have no idea what Ten Hag's going to do, but also he played well. They win. He keeps talking about Bruno striker. The press was great. Best they've looked in 2 years. And he's probably going to play striker. Like he's probably a really good pick. Like I'm definitely not selling him if I owned him.
No, my God, no, you're not selling him.
Never, ever, right? Not. But some people probably are like, oh my God, I should have Jota or Mbeumo and Bruno blank. It's like,
that's ridiculous. I don't think those are our listeners, but
hopefully not.
If he starts at striker, and this is the thing with timing is, if he starts at striker against Brighton, it sucks because they play Liverpool next.
I know.
And we know what he does against good teams, nothing.
Yeah.
And then it's the break. So, here's
the thing: they are the first game, so there is leak potential for the UK listeners
for Brighton.
So, for Man United, Man United, Brighton, they might get a leak. He's striker. Like, oh God, it's just so hard. It's so hard to convince me to make a transfer in Gameweek 2, unless there's someone injured, which there's not really. But man, if he's playing striker, he could have braced. If he braced, what would be happening right now? If two of his shots went in and they won 3-0.
He would have price risen already
on Friday night.
Everyone would be taking hits to get Bruno in if they didn't already have
Everyone
him.
would be going Mo to him, Saka to him, Son to him.
Well, Son to him, probably yes. I don't know.
No, I just mean before they even played, like that Friday night. I think people would have just been doing that. Maybe
that's possible. But it's tough with him because if he's not playing striker, it's just to me, it's similar to how we've been talking about him all year. Where it's like, he's good. He's obviously got points. He's the best player on the team. blah, 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 blah. But if he's playing striker, it's like alarm is sounding loudly that he should be in your team. Similar to like Mbeumo, it's just the uncertainty. I mean, and then that's the thing is, how long is Hoj out, right? I mean, we don't know that. And if he's going to be back in September, then...
Yeah, he might be back after the first international break. And then it's like, oh, why do I have Bruno?
Yeah, and that might be pushing things, but ripping your team up or taking hits, it's just tough because his long-term outlook is obviously not playing striker. It's Højlund's playing striker. Yeah. And it's, maybe it is more just fitness dependent on what does Højlund look like, if he has a setback or what, because...
I just also wanted to bring it up, though, because I'm remembering the Kai thing, right? Let's just say, for example, he plays striker again, they win 2-0, he gets a goal and assist or something against Brighton, right? We're going to be on the next pod being like, we shouldn't get him. They're playing Liverpool. Højlund's back soon. Like, blah, blah. But like, we're falling into the same trap of just being like, no, they're playing well, winning games. These are two new things that we haven't said about Manchester United in 2 years. And like, they're doing it while Bruno's a striker. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
getting him in the press and the front lines. And yeah, maybe that's why. That's fair. That's fair. No, I appreciate where you're coming from. Yeah. And there could be something there for sure. I think we need to really closely look at the team sheet and and how they look against Brighton. And it's also strange too, because you keep saying like they were playing well, he was playing striker, and I in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh yeah, they barely won 1-0 and they won in like from the subs. Yeah. But they should have won.
They should have won 3-0 probably. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like a little bit it's like hard to process it. Right. Yeah. Right. But yeah, Bruno. Because like for me and my team, where I'm imagining going is turning Bowen and Jota into Mbeumo and Bruno. Yeah.
And you have the exact money for that.
That would be exact if there are no movements. And like how I could maybe time that is a question mark. But I mean, those two seem good, and I mean Jota
really good.
Well, let's talk about Liverpool. We haven't touched on them.
Jota is the only question we got. I mean, CB said, is dumping Gordon for Jota just common sense even after one game week? And it's like, no, I wouldn't do that.
I mean, well, this is also, I'm talking about Jota just because I imagine him being a minute's risk in the future because everyone's going to get up to speed and this and that.
Yeah.
And also, he could just be their first striker, all year.
100%.
And,
100%.
Darwin and like this front three could be their A team, and the other guys can play in Europe or
Champions
play in
the
non, whatever the secondary important game is, whatever that looks like.
Third pot and fourth pot games or something like that. Yeah.
Which might sometimes be home Bournemouth because they play a first pot game midweek, and so you're going to run into that. But
they're not going to get no starts. Obviously, that's not possible. But I mean, that's totally everything I just said about like, well, maybe if they're winning games and playing well, and Bruno's a striker, you can apply that exact same logic to Jota because we don't know much about what the manager likes and doesn't like, and Jota's really fucking good, and
he's so good.
He's so good.
So good.
He's always been incredible for Liverpool. He's just always
I was
hurt.
so nervous he was going to get a yellow card for dissent. He was yelling at the ref so much that game. It was crazy.
Well, especially after
from the first half, at the beginning.
Handball. The handball was was like his play. He was fucking freaking out. But then he missed the huge heading chance.
Yeah, the header that was
ball.
Which for him is like He I don't know if I've ever seen him miss that chance before. Like he usually buries that. And and then he did come up with the goal, and he's
all as well. He's just incredible. He's such an incredible player.
He's a great pick. I mean, he's a great. Do you feel like you want to get him in, or you're okay with Mo and
I'm just okay with my team. Like I guess one of the good things I did, and it wasn't even really an intentional thing that I was like, oh, I'm gonna like make a team that I don't regret the picks. It's like, it's not like I didn't know Jota was a pick. Like I was telling everyone he's a fucking amazing pick and everyone should probably have him. But I just decided to do it in a different way. And I'm just like he's still a great pick. I don't really regret not going for him. Everyone should have him for the next 2 or whatever and see how it goes. And I hope it goes well as a fan. But I mean, it's like, I don't have the structure to make an easy million and go up to Jota or something like that right now. I also have Doku playing home Ipswich. So I'm chilling. I'm super chill. I'm not really considering any move right now.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. But yeah, he's a fucking amazing pick. And Diaz absolutely could have scored and assisted.
Absolutely, yep.
Mo did score an assist. Like they played, even though it was only one half where they really did the stuff. They did exactly what we were all kind of thinking they would do against Ipswich.
Yeah. Well, they weathered the storm in the first half because there was a lot of intense pressure, and then the game
just a million fouls and yellow cards and yeah.
Yeah, and I mean Diaz, he looked fantastic. I mean, him blanking was also felt like getting away with it, and he's also a really good pick to me. Looking at the next couple of games, and it's really just how he's going to integrate Gakpo and Darwin, and where it goes there, because it's so hard to see. He didn't buy any of these players, so he doesn't have any stake or anything on his desk tied to any of them. So he's looking at the profiles and what you got.
Yeah. No, I was just going to say Neil on the review show. A friend of the pod, Neil, that you firesided with, brought up a good point, right? That's he was talking about Villa, I think, when he brought it up, but it applies to all the Champions League teams. It's you build a team that can play every 3 days.
Yeah.
And then the first 4 weeks of the season, you play 3 games.
Sure.
It's very weird because everyone has these huge bloated squads and they can't get minutes for the next 10 after the 11 for 4 weeks, and everyone's like, what the fuck is going on? And then it starts, and then we'll really know, then we'll start being like, oh shit, he's a huge minutes risk, not a pick at all or whatever. But for now, it's he's good to go.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Yeah, I just don't think you can drop him. I think he played too well.
Yeah, and that's I'm just hypothesizing, but I mean, to me, having Jota, no, he looks like I'm not touching him. It's I have to be presented with information like this of he's turning into a bad pick. But for now, it's just he feels great. He played great. Yep. They looked very good. And he fits. It looks like he fits the system like a glove. And he was just, he looks great. So, yeah.
I mean, that second half. Great. Yeah, the second half, we looked incredible. And really everyone played well. I mean, Robbo even was getting far forward in the second half, and Trent just started going crazy.
That's what we were. We were on the side piece talking about Gravenberch.
Oh my god, he was similar.
Similar to Kova in the City game, where it's
god, very similar.
Kovacic was just absolutely monstering that game. It was unbelievable. And I'm watching 15 minutes pass. I'm like, Kovacic is playing well. 30 minutes past, I'm like, whoa, what's happening here? Yeah. And then it's halftime, I'm like, Kovacic was the best player in the half. And then 60 minutes pass, and I'm like, what is happening? This is, Kovacic
vintage Kovacic
5 years ago. Yeah. And it's they really don't need to buy anyone if they have this going. But
and that was Liverpool the big joke, right? I'm not here to hammer Chelsea. I thought they actually played well and their 11 was good, but
they should have scored.
It's just so funny that Kovacic bosses their midfield of 300 million or whatever,
100 million, 100 million player.
Yeah, pretty much.
And he's just running shit. Yeah, it is good.
We could talk about that game. We got some scattered questions all over the place, and 2 people, Golf and Omaha.
Can I just one thing before we go to that?
Yeah.
Manchester United also, and we I think we're talking just as a throwaway, is we've had a couple of years where we've been really conditioned of this is a good fixture. It's just not a good fixture anymore.
Wait, what do you mean?
Playing against Manchester United.
Oh my God. I'm so happy you brought that up because the defense, dude, we went from their relegation level defense last year to, okay, they bought Euro, he's 18, he's probably not going to be that good yet, but
still no DM.
It's a huge improvement, but no DM, kind of good. And then fast forward to the Fulham game, it's Casemiro played the best he's played in 2 years. Well, no, since he was good.
Well, we don't expect that to keep up, but either way.
But it might.
Well, they play 60 games a year, though. I mean, it's not gonna.
They don't, though, right? I mean, are they even in Europe? I don't even know. And then
they are.
Then they buy Mazraoui, so all of a sudden Shaw isn't just a complete nightmare. And then they buy De Ligt. So it's Euro out, doesn't even matter. They're just good defense. It's
also,
I mean,
they were playing defense from the front too with Mountain.
Yeah,
I mean, they're competent, So I mean, playing with just Case and Mainu isn't the team
They
can
do.
overrun them because of the right. So but go ahead.
No, that's a really good point. And what was I going to say? Oh yeah, I was just going to say it was funny how like the day one number one guy, I was like, I can't believe he's 4-5 was Lissandro. And then like all of the drama that I just talked about happened, and it was like he's nowhere near being a pick. He's a fucking joke of a pick. But now they bought all the guys, and all of a sudden, like everyone's buying like Mazraoui. Like, I mean, they have bad fixtures. I probably wouldn't buy anyone now, but like they're very much on the list. Once they have a good run, 4-5 Mazraoui, if he's still starting 4-5, 4-5 Lissandro, if he's fit.
I mean, it's almost like it's a little bit advantageous that they have this tricky run because we can allow time to pass and to see how the defense settles and who plays where. But, to me, it looks like it's such a strange season because I'm trying to like imagine things in, October, December, and like Manchester. I imagine that there could be a really, really strong, huge defensive rotation you can have at FPL where you're doing like triple Manchester United defense rotating with like triple Palace defense or something.
With the keepers like, also, you mean?
Yeah. Like doing something like that with like Trent
You're
or something.
Back. Well,
I'm just
there was any doubt in the world that Walsh is back, he's back.
Because like this is the kind of thing where like we have a lot of these teams, even like Villa. Like I don't think that Villa's defense is. Why are you laughing at me so much?
It's so funny. I'm just imagining your team. It's just Onana, Hendo, Lissandro, Delict, Mazraoui, and fucking Munoz, Mitchell.
It could be.
Genius.
But even like West Ham, like we're looking at for the first time ever, there are like 5 teams that are going to be in the top 10 have multiple 4-5 defenders on them.
Yeah.
And a couple of them are going to be elite defenses in the league comparatively. So like those are places where I'm looking at like the earliest that we could possibly identify that and then put chips on that is going to be an edge.
Right.
And I don't think it's going to be West Ham if they're playing fucking 5 attackers or, I don't know who it could be. I don't know.
We'll see. But
United's putting their hat in the ring because, you put Delict in there, you have Mazraoui, like all of a sudden their back four is just nails. They have a really good goalkeeper.
Being able to cover both fullback spots is just so huge. Like it gives you such a big safety net of like, even when Shaw gets re-injured or Dalot, whatever, like we're okay. Like I can hold my picks and feel okay with them because Maz is better than both of them. But that's so I mean, we talked about West Ham on the last pod as like team we're both really high on, but like they're not picks yet. Right. And like Man United can kind of enter this picture too. And like maybe this is a wild card thing. Like maybe this is like you look at Man United game week 8, they go home Brentford, away West Ham, then home Chelsea's not so good. And then home Leicester, away Ipswich, home Everton. I mean, that's a fucking fixture run right there. Like you could sell me on, even then away Arsenal's bad, home NFO, away City's bad, home Bournemouth, away Wolves. Like that's a team with a 4-5 and a 5-0. You could like rotate 2 guys and feel amazing in most weeks with them starting. So that's something to target maybe.
Yeah, something to think about.
Another 4-5 guy though was the question I was going to go to is golf in Omaha. What else do you need to see from little Rico Lewis to make him a pick? Does he have to start 3 in a row? In my mind, as soon as I get him, Walker's going to get the starts. I mean, I thought Rico was fucking amazing, and he kind of always is.
Yeah, I mean, he had a couple moments where it was just, do the easy thing instead of trying to, thread the eye of a needle and then you turn the ball
8
over.
Guys.
Yeah, dribble 8 guys. I mean,
he loves that.
He's so young. Like, I was like about to say, I'm surprised that he still has that in his game and Pep hasn't ironed that out of him. And I'm also at the same time not because he's a teenager.
Yeah. And I think Pep is going more towards dribbly boys. Like maybe it's just his perverted thing. This is his new Everest that he wants to climb, but like Savinho, Kovacic, Rico, like all they fucking do is dribble.
Yeah, I think it's less about like he has the obvious ability to dribble. I think there were a few moments when I was watching where I'm just like, where he was on the pitch and what could happen if he turns the ball over is not commensurate with just pass it back to Gvard or the center back or Ederson, and like those decisions. Like that's what I imagine Pep sitting there and being like, I can't. This is frying me. Because, he's doing this 3 times a game and we could have conceded off any one of them kind of things. But aside, I mean, I'm really nitpicking. I do agree. I think broadly, he's just so talented and he has so much in his locker. He's just so press resistant and, the ball sticks to his feet and he uses his body well, even though he's kind of small. He's great. But
I mean, you can't pass completion is like its own pod. It's not like the end all be all by any stretch. But you kind of can't play for Pep and have a 71% pass percentage.
Is that what he had?
Yeah, like that's.
Yeah, so
I mean,
that's
he's
what I'm saying,
by far
Yeah.
worse on the team. I mean, Holland doesn't count because he played 3 passes.
Yeah,
but
and he's not a striker. I mean, he's a fucking fullback.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like you're playing in the most dangerous areas of the pitch. You kind of like it's the same as Arteta, right? Like that player wouldn't play.
Yeah. And, there are elements where he isn't necessarily playing in the defensive line, but either way, he does look good. Yeah. I just am not going to be convinced unless if Walker is injured. I just don't think that I'm ever going to feel confident enough. That said, it's similar to what we were talking about with Kwanzaa, right? And we did mention Rico in the preseason pods.
Yep.
We don't see him, or we haven't seen him subbing on. So, if he's going to be spelling Walker, more than he did last year because he didn't really spell Walker
and more Champions League games and Walker's older.
Yeah. I mean, he played 800 minutes last year, but you can just start him and have a player on the bench to shield him or not rotate, but someone that will back him up.
That's okay.
I think the issue with that is you don't want to spend money on the backup when you don't know Rico's going to play. So, to me, I think a good candidate would be Anderson would be someone I would imagine having Rico and Anderson where, we can clean anyone and he has attacking threat and he's 4-5. I don't want to spend more than 4-5 on the backup.
Yeah.
And, I think that's
you definitely wouldn't. You definitely wouldn't.
Yeah.
It would be a situation where it's your last 3 defenders would be Rico, 4-5-4-0. Yeah. And the 4-0 would also be nailed, right?
Sure,
that's how you'd have to do it because you can't end up in a situation where you're like, oh, Rico's never ever going to start, and my 4-0 is fodder, and I just have 3 players. That's the last place you want to be.
And the other thing with Rico last year too is he wouldn't play for 2 months, and then he would play 3 games in 5, and then he would play for a month. He didn't get hurt; he wasn't hurt, So
I mean, he played 16 games. 8 of them as starts, 8 of them as subs, and then 22 games as an unused sub.
Yeah, that's mad, right?
Crazy.
But he's a year older.
He's a year older, so is Walker.
Yeah, he's clearly good. He's taking steps forward. He's progressing. I don't know. I mean, are you around him? Are you interested? It's just too much
I haven't
risk.
really thought about it, no.
Yeah.
I mean, I also didn't go Kwanzaa, which obviously, went well for not owning him in FPL because he got ripped off at half. So I don't know. Is this also where you want to spend a City pick? Is that where you want to spend a Liverpool pick? A not nailed defender? Not really to me. It would be interesting if you swapped, Rico or Kwanzaa or something like that. If there was a 4-5 not nailed guy on Arsenal.
Yeah.
Would that be worth it? Because anytime he starts, it's
4-5.
Yeah, I would probably be there. He probably would have been in my Gameweek 1 team because I'm this is the best defense in the league by a lot. Anytime he starts, I think they could clean. Yeah. So I'm just gonna go there.
Okay.
Yeah, but Doku question. Blue Bottle said, "I'm seeing that City figuratively have gotten their wings clipped. Is Doku the obvious way to fly?" Wow, so much poetry there from Blue Bottle.
You were there with Dare watching.
Yeah, me and Derek. Doku.
Both owning Doku. How did it feel? What was the takeaway?
It felt amazing. I'm so happy I own it. He's so fucking good. He had a bad game, I would describe, and also could have had 2 assists and a goal. That's everything you want from a guy. He just does. Here's how I describe Jeremy Doku. He just does stuff. I like guys that I have a
high
type.
Usage fuckfest.
High usage fuckfest. I like Darwin. Werner. I like Doku. I like
Timo
guys
Werner.
who do stuff all the time. And
he does
I
stuff
also
all the time.
Yeah, and I also like that the best team in the world is their whole game plan is play through Doku. I, as a Doku owner, I'm yes, get the ball to Doku over and over and over and over again. So good pick. Is he nailed for long term? No, and they'll probably buy someone. I don't know. So, but I feel really good with him right now with home Ipswich, away West End. They haven't bought anyone yet. Savio came off injured. I'm I expect him to play left wing, but Jack could just play any of these games, and then I'm like, oh, bad pick, time to sell. But this second seems good.
Yeah, I mean, next game you could just play Jack and Bilf.
Jack, Holland, Foden.
Foden.
Or
sure.
Bilf.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would just be like, sucks for me, but I'll just transfer him.
Yep. That was quite literally exactly what I expected you to say.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's who he is. And then a couple Chelsea questions. I mean, Brian said, Nkunku off at 58. That's a problem, right? And then Guy said, were Chelsea better than expected given the preseason chaos? Do they deserve an upgrade in our opinion, or is it still too much unknown?
Yeah, I mean, I thought they played, again, you mentioned it earlier, well.
I thought they played really well.
Yeah, they probably couldn't have won the game, but a draw on balance would have been very reasonable. They fluffed a few chances, and Dot's still the same player that we know him to be. But, the spacing looked good. Lavia played well. I thought Nkunku was fine generally.
Yeah, he was good.
He was lively and active. He was an outlet. He was holding the ball up. He was keeping it.
And he was playing the wrong position, which, I mean, how did you interpret his position, like left wing? Like, do you think that's here to stay, or do you think that's like a City thing?
Yeah, I think it was a throwaway from the City game of just like the tactics had to be a little bit tweaked to what they're going to do. I mean, look, they're playing Wolves, us, Bournemouth, Western, Brighton, NFO coming up. I don't think he's going to play that position or that role again. I mean, they're more like trying to get possession and maintain the ball in the middle third, and he's kind of just a little bit of jack of all trades. And when they're playing worse teams, and I think they'll have an easier time of retaining the ball, that he'll be able to play a little bit more further forward. But I mean, I just feel like they just do have so many quality individual footballers on the team that. And I do, Maresca, I've just read about him. I didn't watch a single minute of Leicester last year, obviously. Why would I ever do that? I fucking hate Leicester. But, Maresca.
I didn't know this, by the way, that you just despise Leicester.
I hate them, dude. They're scum, absolute scum. I think Nkunku's going to just be fine. Like, he's a good pick. He's clearly a classy player. Him getting subbed at 57, I don't really care that much about that, and they have a good run. So I think if you have him, you're obviously not thrilled with the 1-pointer, but I saw a lot of people that had him that, benched him for Rodgers this week, which would have been what I probably would have done also.
I would have done
if
that
I was setting my kind of thing. And then you look at this run and say, okay, let me give him a few games and see what and how the chips settle, like how the dust lies and how the chips settle. And, he might be great, and he might just be... They might have too many guys. Like João Felix is coming in. Yeah, I mean, they have 30 million attackers. Neto, Nkunku, Endot, Palmer. I mean, who's playing there?
Raz.
It's just such a disaster there. So I think to me, if you don't, it's like a buy, don't sell kind of thing. If you have any of these guys, Palmer included. If you have him, you're just, he had a couple of. You're not
he's amazing.
Thrilled.
So he's going to do a few things, but
but you're not. I'm not like running to buy him, even though they have a good fixture run, because he was also playing, quite peripherally, and I didn't see him getting inside too much. Maybe not as much as last year, and it's a City fixture, but it's not like he's trying to jam him down the middle or anything like that. So
we just don't know much. I think right now. I mean, we just really know very little about how exactly they're going to play. It seemed like this is our ultra defensive lineup, and this is what we're going to do specifically for Man City. Play all three of the deep line guys, shove Nkunku out to left wing, even though he's never played there, and yada yada. So we'll see. I mean, next game I expect one of the deep guys, probably Lavia, even though he was their best player, I thought probably will get dropped, and then they'll be more in like a 4-2-3-1, and Nkunku will be more towards the middle, and we'll see. But yeah, I definitely did upgrade them a little bit in my thinking, just being like, even just when I saw their 11.
Like they might not be far away from being good.
Yeah, like I saw their 11, and I was like, that's just really good. I was like, even the back four, right? It was like Cucurella, Colwell, Fofana, Gusto. I mean,
Gusto was the worst player on the pitch by a lot.
Love at all.
Yeah, he just might be bad.
He was just getting humiliated over and over again. But
he was,
Reese will play one game soon, and that'll be a huge buff to the team. But Yeah, and then their midfield's good, possession's good, like the spacing you said. So yeah. Not Arsenal, Chelsea. Good.
I can't wait to get Reece. I'm going to be there for game one, I think, for Reece.
Why not?
That's what I'm saying.
Captain.
I mean, imagine if Reece was playing in Gusto. Like, Gusto was getting fucking everywhere up top. I mean,
yeah,
Reece, captain,
straight in.
Great pick,
Captain Reece, straight in the team for away Bournemouth, away West Ham. Then he's injured. Get rid.
Yeah, easy.
What else should we talk about? I mean, was there much from the Arsenal game? I mean,
it's just Kai is. It's still people keep, I think, trying to find reason. He's playing midfield a little bit in preseason. Like,
that was everyone's thing, trying to not own him.
He's like, he's reclassified as forward. Like, it's like all that means is he's going to be better on bonus points. I mean.
Yeah.
He came up in Germany. He was bought for 100 million or whatever the fuck when he was like 20. This is the most post-hype sleeper thing ever. And, now he's still in his early 20s and he just looks incredible. Like he does everything. He's
game.
A target man. He's good with the ball at his feet. He's good at movement. Like he's incredible. And he should be in 40% of teams, I think. Like,
yeah, I mean, that was
so
kind of
good.
like Nick's question was kind of just like, he's only at 17% ownership. Like, is there a case to swap out Isak, who's at 60% ownership just right now, just move to Kai? And Andy kind of was like, yeah, great player, great pick. He should and or will be in most teams over the next few weeks. I mean, I agree. I mean, it's another one where I guess I just mentally was in a good spot because there was no doubt in my mind that he was a great pick. He was Arsenal guys, him and Saka specifically were a big reason I was tinkering with a Hollandless team because I was just like, these guys are just incredible picks with two incredible fixtures. So for a team like mine, yeah, we'll see. I mean, maybe it is Isak, or maybe Isak will get hurt like he usually does, or in a bad run, Gameweek 6, Isak's Man City and Arsenal started an incredible run. Maybe that's when I'll make my move, or maybe I'll get rid of Holland in Gameweek 3. I mean, that's very in the cards too. I don't think that's crazy, but yeah, I think he's just an amazing pick. I don't know if there's more to say about that.
Yeah. But no, it was a walk in the park. I mean, Wolves played well for like 15 minutes in the second half when
they got Arsenal, some chances.
Yeah, Arsenal dragged. They had a really good shot from distance. Right, made one really nice save, but
and that header, Arsenal, that Larson header,
yeah. But yeah, I mean, Arsenal, they just kind of walked, and I'm still interested with Arsenal too. This Marino transfer just feels like it's just fucking exhaustingly tiringly slow.
It's like definitely gonna happen, and they're just negotiating over fucking a cent here, a cent there, or something.
Yeah. I mean, this Sociedad or something else, but it's just like imagining them. Partey's.
Yeah.
He's just so fucking old and slow, and he really can't play more than like a half an hour.
He's not even that old, but he
looks like it.
37.
He plays like it.
Yeah.
Put Marino in that spot. Oh my God. Like he's
31. Like he should be fine. And he's not fine, and he's on huge wages. And yeah.
But I mean, put Marino in that spot, and then I'm also like, I have no defender. Like, I mean, I have Zinchenko, but like, I need defenders.
I know.
They are going to keep 20 cleans again.
And I'm kind of just like accepted my fate that it is what it is. After away Spurs, away City, I'm there. Whether that's me wildcarding or using 4 free transfers or something, I'll just go there and have them for a really long time. And so like as a non-owner, I'm just kind of like, I hope away Villa, away Spurs, away City are as hard as I think they might be, even home Brighton, and they just don't clean all of them. But they might. Yeah. They might just clean all of them. They might be the best team in the league. So
yeah. I mean, it's still a weird thing where they have those tough ones, and then 6 to 8 they have Leicester, Southampton, Bournemouth, but then they have Liverpool, Newcastle, Chelsea.
Maybe there's just more good teams than we think, because they just have tough one after tough one. Yeah.
Well, then it looks a little bit better. They don't have another top 4 team for a while, or they play City and then Liverpool, but they just kind of have them all really early. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
And away. They have the medium.
Yeah, they're
away
getting all the away games out of the way. They're away Villa, away Spurs, away City, away Newcastle, away Chelsea. The only hard home game is home Liverpool in 9.
Yeah. So
that's
from 12
crazy.
on. Yeah. So like from 12 onwards. Yeah, they have home
from
City
12 onwards,
and then at Liverpool
no hard aways.
Yeah.
Right? Rest of the season, no hard aways.
Well, away Liverpool 36.
Except Liverpool.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So, I mean, it still might be, maybe it is just wait until then, and then you go 3 and you don't think about it again. Hold them forever.
Wild card in 12.
Yeah, that could be.
That's far away, we'll see.
It is far away.
Anything specific you want to go to, or should we just jump to some questions here? We got a lot of questions.
Yeah, let's do questions. I'm sure questions will guide us.
Yeah. Ethical said, I have about 10 hot takes I want to put to you, but I know the answer to all of them is we don't know yet. So my question is there anything we do know now that we didn't know before?
I don't know, man.
Barco's a bad pick.
Yeah, Barco's bad. Barco's bad. Well, I mean,
Vardy's an amazing best cheap forward.
Yeah, Vardy still exists. Is he 5'5" or 5?
He's 5'5". He's just the best cheap forward. He's better than all the other guys.
Yeah, I mean, when
on
fit,
pens, Donger.
yeah, he's better than João Pedro.
He's better than Pedro,
striker.
Muniz, DCL. Yeah. I don't know who else is even in the mix.
I mean, is he just going to be starting?
Yeah, he's going to start every game. Yeah, 100%.
How is he fit?
That's just the funniest.
How the fuck is he fit?
I swear to God, he was red flagged, and all the websites and whatever was he out till October or whenever it was, and he's just fit. Doesn't matter. Scores a goal, screaming at everyone, "Fuck off, die."
We won the league. You guys have never won the league.
Yeah, you'll never sing that. And it was honestly great to see him. I loved it.
Yeah. No, it's fine. You were mentioning, I missed some parts of the game today, but that, he lost a step and, he's getting outran by Sarr but I'm still, looking at him as they're building up, and his burst is still there, and his movement is still so good that, he's pulling defenders, left, right, getting inside, getting behind. And I mean, 5'5" striker. Look, I did not expect in a million years, or at least
Gameweek
over the last
month,
that we would be even mentioning Vardy. I didn't think we'd say his name. And he looks like a great 5'5" forward option, right? I mean, he's better than fucking Adam Armstrong. That's for goddamn sure.
He lost the step, and yet he got 2 monster chances and scored 1. And that is the most classic Vardy thing ever. For those who maybe are new to the game or something, he's never been a high shot guy. He's never been over 2.5. He's a low shot guy. Yeah. But they're all monster. They're all monster chances.
Yeah. So he's playing on the shoulder, running in behind on the counter.
Yeah. And he only started 18 games last year because I'm sure he must have gotten injured, and he scored 18 goals. Pretty good.
Pretty good.
He's fucking Jamie Vardy. Yeah.
Goal a game.
He's legit Premier League legend. It just feels good to have royalty back in the game.
I agree with that. I agree. Yeah. I'm with you on that.
Ferguning said, small sample size, but did you see anything from Gameweek 1 that made you feel that you got any particular preseason calls spot on or totally wrong? Barco. Barco's answered every question.
Yeah, Barco in both columns. I mean, it's getting things we got spot. It's whatever, but I mean, things that are really too surprising.
All the good teams kind of just played against bad teams and won.
Yeah.
So it's
except for Spurs,
I'm not taking Spurs.
They might not be good.
They did exactly what we wanted them to do, and Porto scored, so that's it. But I mean, Liverpool won and clean, Arsenal won and clean, City won and clean.
I feel like Villa were a very disappointing proposition.
Yeah, I did not think they were good.
Yeah, they looked really bad. And I mean, Watkins was clearly off it. But
he was not in the game at all.
I think they were very lucky to have won the game, and West Ham were also poor. But
very bad,
Yeah, I mean, they were there for the taking, and I thought Villa would sort of just roll in and just, assert, no, we're a good team now. Yeah. Not this is a mid-table. That felt like a mid-table clash of who's going to finish 10th. And it wasn't Villa putting a marker down or carrying on from last year. And
I thought Rodgers was good, but if they didn't score that corner goal in like the first minute of the game, like
who knows where that game would have
I
went.
don't know what that game would have been. Yeah, because they were just not really creating that many chances. Not very good.
They didn't really create any chances, honestly.
Yeah, there was like
Villa.
a McGinn one that was just wide, and there was like Duran. Whenever Durant
came
plays,
on, and, he's incredible.
He just gets
a monster. Yeah,
chances all the time. I love him. He's so.
What do you
good.
make of Rodgers?
I thought he was really good. I mean, I didn't think he was like, emergency. You're ridiculous if you don't have this guy start every week, auto pick or anything like that. But like, pretty much as good as you could hope for a 5-0 attacker. I mean, he was involved. He got shots. None of them were great, but none of them were bad. And he created a couple chances and was just very involved in the final third. I thought he was really good.
Yeah, he almost scored. He had one really good chance that he kind of just passed
that
right
one
to the goalkeeper.
chance. Yeah. So kind of opposite end of the spectrum, I guess, is Hemdog's question. He said, I'm remembering Gameweek 2 knee-jerks of yesteryear that actually worked. 22-23 Martinelli, 23-24 Matto. What knee-jerk transfer is going to work this week? And I mean, it's Mbeumo and Vardy, right?
Yeah. Well, also Bruno probably.
Yeah, Bruno. Yeah, it's guys we talked about already.
Vardy has room to fail because he's old and could get injured at any point.
Unless they're are bad. They're fucking
terrible.
bad. Yeah.
Yeah. I also fail to really see what team you have that you're like bringing Vardy in.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like Muniz is a fire. I mean, maybe DCL. That could be the one if you're one of the 3%.
He was this close to a pen and like, I don't know.
Was he? He wasn't really.
Yeah.
He might be.
Guy. I don't know. I'm not sounding the alarms yet. He's away at Spurs. Great fixture. Even Vardy could score there. So
Romero's still playing. Then you have a chance. Yeah.
Dino said, any change to the views on the best cheap midfielders after game week 1? And then Fabrizio, same question with the under 6 forwards. I guess 6 and under forwards. So I mean, there's also like Wissa, Wood, Welbs, Duran are all in there too that we didn't talk about.
Well, you have ESR, and I mean, I know he's playing, Man United away isn't why you bought him, but, how are you looking at the 5-5, like, sweepstakes, midfield sweepstakes?
I still feel really good. I know he only played 60 minutes. Fine. First game he's been fit for in the Premier League in like 10 years. That's fine. Build fitness. Home Leicester. I got to feel good with Home Leicester away at Ipswich. I still just feel great about those 2 fixtures, and then I have to reevaluate. After one game, I would say, like, yeah, I mean, Rodgers just looked better to me. Like, I thought, watching that game, I was like, oh, yeah, Rodgers is just good. I thought Fatawu, Neil shout, Fatawu was really good today. I mean, Adingra, Minta, like, I don't expect Adingra to get starts, but Minta is concussed. But when Minta plays, I mean, he's just lethal. He just looks really lethal to me. But I don't know. That's kind of where it ends. I can't really remember another guy that I was like, oh shit, I got to get this guy. What do you think?
Yeah, pretty much echoing similarly. I don't think I have anything else too much of significance to add. I mean, the NFL guys, just like NFL are just, they just do my fucking head in.
I mean, that's the thing with Wood is like, I know that like, a lot of people weren't watching that game probably because it was an awful game, but he was so bad. And he just scored this one tap in. And I'm like, fucking, that's why he's a pick.
Yeah,
right? He scores a tap in, gets max bones. He's just found this new side of him where he's just like this clinical guy. And
he's a poacher. I mean, he's just in the box and they have tricky guys and he's trying to get rebounds basically.
Yeah. And Taiwo is 50 times the player and he probably won't start because they win games when Chris Wood plays. And it's the same logic as the other guys.
Yeah.
And he's never fit, Taiwo. So, yeah, I mean, Wood is good. I probably should have just trusted the robots in our Discord and got Wood over Muniz, but like, is what it is, Yeah. Didn't like him, didn't trust him.
Yeah.
But yeah,
what do you make of
out of that group? I mean, he's probably the best.
I still have a hard time.
I still have a really, really long, good run of fixtures.
But I mean, Taiwo, he's still there. I mean, he's still better. They are better when he plays and Chris Wood is not playing. So
couldn't agree more.
I mean, I still look at that and think, well, this is just a transfer waiting to happen that I don't want to wait to happen. I just don't want to be there.
It might be, but I just don't think. I think there's like that layer that in manager speak.
Yeah.
That exists for them that doesn't exist for us. Of just like we win when Wood plays because he just scores every game somehow, and that's enough.
That's fair. That's fair.
But
what about Spurs? We didn't talk about the Spuds today. The potato tractor boys.
Yeah, what do you have to say? As the Spud representative,
what are they doing? What actual fuck are they doing? Are they just? Is this who they are? And they're gonna be like last year? Ange had all the excuses and overperformed, and this year he's gonna be out of a job in December.
And I don't think that's a crazy shout. And friend of the pod, Anthony DeBundo, and Spurs fan, that was his like hot take preseason. Was like Ange is going to be out of job by like November or something. I was
it really?
Yeah, I swear. And I was like, wow, that's kind of crazy.
Billy's own.
Yeah, Billy's own. But yeah, I mean, it was such a weird. It was the opposite of the Liverpool game. I mean, first half they could have scored like 3, and they was just like, oh my god, Matto's back, Poro's electric, like Dom's getting chances even though they're kind of offsides. Like BJ got a couple chances. He put one across the goal that was like literally rolling on the goal line that no one tapped home. I was just like, oh man, they're gonna like Leicester are the worst team in the league and Spurs are gonna score 4. And then second half, I just like they did nothing, and Son kind of did nothing all game.
What is? I mean, we were joking / serious about Son's serious. I mean, do we have a problem here? Like,
I don't know. It looked like a new. Oh, this is his first game under a new manager or something, and he's just like learning where he wants him to play. It was just like, I don't know. Yeah,
he can't get shots off. I mean, it's even
there.
worse. It's even worse than last year, where his shots are blocked. He can't get any separation. It's like he's just honestly, he's occupying defenders as a decoy or something. And
I mean, he had 10 touches in the box and 1 shot.
How?
He just kind of like got the ball, like shifted it onto his other foot, recycled possession.
That's all he's doing. Like, he's not.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. Not really. It was a very confusing game. I think there's some positives you could take and a lot of negatives you could take. I don't think it's like panic, like they're gonna be bad. I mean, it's still like away to a promoted side in their first game is, a tough environment and all this shit. But I mean, the defense certainly did not look fixed in any way at all. It looked exactly the same as last year. It's like, oh, they're just completely wide open anytime the ball gets out of the defensive third for the other team. And midfield was fine. And Mbeumo will be better. BJ was kind of quiet. I mean, I mentioned he had like 1 chance that wasn't a big chance. It was like okay, and 1 cross, but like felt like you could get more from that spot, and were getting more from that spot last year. Not really sure. I don't have like a good Spurs take. I don't know. Do you have any?
I just think they might not be that good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it's like Spurs sort of are almost similar to Chelsea in my mind, of enormous bulging squad of just random guys.
Yeah.
And the Spurs players are in pound for pound, like 50% as good as the Chelsea's player.
Yeah.
And it's like, totally. I don't really have confidence in Ange, honestly, at all. And like I was highly critical of him and them last year. And like, watching them play games to me where I was, perceiving that, they were controlling games in air quotes for you pod subscribers and creating nothing.
Yeah.
And, this game was a little bit different where they did create a few and, Dom had his Dom boots on, so he didn't slot any of them. But Son could be the biggest issue that, no one is really talking about, that he might just not be good anymore.
Eventually, there's going to be a year when he's not good. I still don't think it's going to be this year, but it could.
It could be. I mean, look, he overperformed last year, as he always has done. He put up the numbers last year, as he, usually and typically has done. But, we were watching him struggle last year, for the most part of the whole year. And
well, he went crazy and everyone owned him, and he was the actual best pick in the game. But like, yeah, either side of that, it was kind of like not a pick.
Yeah. And, I mean, it's just a very strange squad. It's just a strange amalgamation of players. And, maybe
it's Dom's first game. I still believe he's going to be good for them. And,
it's just my thing is with Ange is like, I don't and haven't believed him to be getting the most out of the sum of his parts. I feel like they are, even last year, performing almost in spite of him, because even last year when they had all the players in the world, they had a lot of reasons why they should have had a good season, right? I mean, they weren't in Europe. They like all of the things, and they didn't really suffer injuries unless I'm forgetting. I mean, Madison,
no, they did all the defensive injuries. Yeah.
You're right. The defenders, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm nervous.
It was a limp performance, that's for sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure fans are mildly freaking out about that, but from an FPL point, I mean, Matto's on the menu. I mean, like, he looked good. He looked like classic good Matto. He also took 12 corners and all the free kicks. It's like any player that's taking double-digit corners and free kicks and is in attacking areas is a pick. So
I'm not there with you on Matto. I mean, from the 7-5 standpoint, it's too crowded for me.
Yeah,
for
really
someone
crowded.
Who doesn't shoot that much, gets subbed all the time. Might just get dropped. Subbed. Yeah, I don't think there's just too much competition there.
There was just nothing I saw today where like Bergvall's anywhere near taking minutes from him.
Not when he plays this way.
Yeah, when he plays this way. Yeah. So, they'll have a run. I don't know when it is. I mean, I guess people were banking on it's right now because of the two good fixtures, but it's not. It's not anymore because the fixtures are bad now. But, maybe...
Sun is more my issue.
Yeah. Like,
I'm just really worried about that.
Yeah.
That he's, I just feel like he might not be good anymore.
We'll see. One game. I'm not selling Sun stock yet. Voltaire said, Pool, Arsenal City, all cleaned. Is getting big at the back more urgent than getting Kai or Saka? No.
I mean, that's insane, right? Like,
yeah. It's just City 1 week where they had big matchup. They had ideal
3
matchups.
bankers-ish, banker-ish
well,
games.
City didn't have a banker, but Arsenal...
Yeah, right.
Home, Wolves, Liverpool, away, Ipswich. They're expected to clean for a reason. Those games.
Yeah.
Skip. Who's essential? Skip.
Going to Leicester.
I'm skipping a lot of these. Janny said, who's the most... Skipinho joining Winks. Winks and Skip starting every game in a Premier League midfield.
Yeah. Cooper's amazing. Like, I want this.
Yeah, he's like, I've seen all I need to see. And he's a genius. He got a point. So, Jandy said, who's the most brick shittingest player to not own right now? Mo and Saka have to be up there for those of us who went in a different direction with premiums. Who would you be most terrified of? Yeah, Mo.
Yeah, I think it's Mo.
Yeah. As a not Mo owner, as coming from the perspective of a Mo owner, I think it's probably it's almost Kai more than Saka for me, just because he's more gettable.
Yeah.
Like, you either started with Saka or you're not getting him. But people are going to start getting Kai, I think, really soon. And I'm going to probably be late to that.
Yeah. That's fair. But the ownership standpoint, though, is different.
Yeah, what are their ownerships? I don't even know.
Kai's 13% or something. Let me see. Kai's...
Yeah, and then Saka's 32%.
Yeah. I mean, that's a big difference.
I just never know, and I'm not interested in looking what the actual distribution of our Discord versus overall, or the elite teams versus overall. I don't actually know.
It could be more level than that. You're saying.
I think it would be. It would be my guess.
Yeah. That's fair.
And then last question is Mishka. He said, has the new bonus point system got you rethinking old picks? Mo on Bones, Ederson on Bones, etc.
I don't even know what to believe with the bonus point system because they can't implement it.
Wasn't implemented. Yeah. So I don't even know.
It's still the old system, and they're adjusting it really late because they can't track, a shot and change their fucking code. I don't know. small indie company. I mean, they don't have fucking Budweiser as the official beer anymore, so they're fucked.
Oh my God, they're fucking fucked.
They're fucked.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of it. I don't know if what we're seeing is real. I don't even know if this game week is confirmed yet. Didn't they change something with that? Like, it's never confirmed until the fucking...
Is that a mystery chip question?
Yeah, mystery chip is all the bonus points that you should have earned. You have to play to gather them in 1 week. No idea. There was some weird bonus stuff, I guess, though. You know, like, I did notice, like, Allison got a BAP.
Yeah, goalies got BAPs when, like, Raya got a BAP.
Yeah, like
Ederson got a BAP.
In games where, like, you would not expect these guys to get BAPs.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's, like, the additions to the bonus point system for the defenders, like, committing a foul, like, those -3 is so significant.
Oh, is that what the change was? I didn't even remember.
I think that's new, that committing a foul is -1 BPS. Like, where if you say you commit 2 or 3 fouls, like Ruben Dias,
that takes you below your keeper.
Yeah, because it is that close, honestly, right? A lot of times when the clean sheets come in, like who gets the bat, it is within, plus minus of 3 or 2 or 4 or something. So
right.
It's also just so random. Like, it's such a small little sampling. It's one game of, this one guy did this one thing that gave him +3 BPS, and then it's like it tilts the playing field. So I don't know what to make of it. Like, it's really confusing.
I think it's too soon. Also,
it's too soon. It's just
right. The fact that Raya even had 3 saves is more of a freak than him getting a bonus point.
Absolutely.
So, fuck it. Anything else, or is that a pod?
Wait, I did want to ask, going back to
there's games,
Mo and Ishak for you.
Yeah.
And did you have any question about cap there? Because we didn't really talk about it too much.
I just didn't feel comfy capping like away instead of home, which was a big one for me. And away, like I just expected a crazy fucking, this is their cup final Ipswich performance. And honestly, that's what it was.
They did do that. They just
That's what it was. Yeah. The first half was, they were just going absolutely crazy, pressing high with 4, fouling, kicking the absolute shit out of everyone at any opportunity. And it was a nightmare. And Liverpool got like 1 bad shot the entire half. And then it just, imploded. But I don't really regret it at all. I mean, Southampton, we didn't talk about Southampton. I mean, McCarthy.
What is it? How many hours have we spent talking about how fucking shit Alex McCarthy is?
McCarthy,
we spent years and hours of our lives
Jack
doing
Stevens,
it. It's still the same. It's still true.
It's just
still
like,
true.
Oh my God.
The spine that got them relegated years ago is still bad.
It's still bad.
I can't believe it. They didn't improve. They got older.
They got older. I thought that meant they get more. They're fine whining. Not fine whining.
Not fine whining.
It's
anti-whining. Yeah, no, it's like spoiled milk.
So like
something.
If I had to pick right now, what's the best fixture for an attacker to play? It's home Southampton still for me.
Yeah.
I think that's still the one. So in that sense, I think we picked right. We just got unlucky with a fucking shard donger headbutt.
Yeah. I do think Ipswich is close, though.
Yeah, they might be. Yeah, the way they ran out of gas was very alarming.
Yeah.
Did you have any problem with the red? That's apparently controversial. That I said that's the most obvious red ever, and a red every year.
I mean, I don't think it's the most obvious red ever. I mean, that's perhaps a bit hyperbolic, but yeah, it's a red. I mean, you ask, it's back to the same thing of, you make the referee have to do, you ask the referee a question, right? And it's who fell down, who's play acting first or second, or who's initiating or who's not. Like, Shar's not a 19-year-old. He has to just have more composure and control over himself in these moments.
When I say most obvious red ever, what I mean is that it happens like twice a year. Like it happens regularly. And it's like, if you move your head forward even an inch and it touches the other guy's head, you're getting sent off. There's VAR now. It happens every time.
No, it does. I think this one was a little bit different for me because I think like BBD also sort of like
the foul
made a little bit of I think he also like made a little bit of a motion forward. So I mean, I think Sharp made a greater headwardly motion. And also, like,
we should be on VAR with this discussion.
Yeah, this is for the VAR.
This is top quality.
But, it's just it's just ridiculous. Like, the whole thing's ridiculous. It's stupid. I'm fucking don't care. Like, I mean, to me, it's like they need to figure out a way to get this type of gamesmanship, whatever you want to call it, just out of the game. Like, why are we trying to bait or do this stupid shit to get the other guy to do something emotionally?
Every sport does it, though. That's where
but the stakes are different, because getting a flagrant foul and them getting 1 point versus you play with 10 men for an hour, it's like...
To me, that's like a red card discussion, not like you can't try and bait your opponent discussion, because that's happening in any competitive environment, and that happens in fucking chess.
Yeah, but you can yell at your guy or whatever. But is the penalty when it's like something this negligible of this Chilean South American actor doing something like this? Like, are we like, he might be really hurt. Like, that was violent conduct. It's
right, and that's the case for
they did a little
the
tappy
sin
tap
bin or whatever, right? That's the case for like the hockey style, like just you're off the pitch for 5 minutes or something,
but
whatever.
But this is the thing. Like, say you don't know the rules and you're watching the game and that happens, and you're just some lad who lives in fucking I don't know.
Your friends are going to the bar, and you're like, I'll go to the bar.
And you're like, what do you think should happen here? And you're like, that was fucked up. This guy's a pussy. Like, both of them are out for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. They play 10 on 10 for 10 minutes, and these two little pussies come back on afterwards.
See, maybe maybe we need to do FML NHL, because what happens is just they throw their gloves down, they throw their sticks away, they actually fucking fight.
Major
legally fight.
10 minutes out, they come back. Yeah, like, that's fine. And then they just come back in. It's great. You do some little side project, like, that's the art project, right? Yes. As Neil would say.
Meanwhile, Mascara puts his hand up Jesus' ass and around Kai's throat, and he's fine. He's
fine. Not even a yellow card. Gets out of there. He's good, But
Beautiful.
Like, that kind of shit, it just, I don't watch footy for that kind of thing to affect the entire experience. And everyone at St. James, like, they're just like, oh, this game sucks now. And Southampton's like, oh, and then this controversy and the booing and the side, it's like, it's not a soap opera. I'm so tired of these things happening ever. And there's not a sensible, reasonable, rational way. Like, what's VAR? VAR should look at that and be like, this is a piss take. Like, this guy's clearly play acting. I don't care what the rules are. Like, this is fucked up. Like, you go get this penalty. You get this penalty.
The problem with not caring what the rules are is that those are the rules. So the rules have to change before VAR is going to enforce it differently. And they're probably not going to fucking change, if we're being honest.
It's just there
were actually a couple more questions, because I forgot about cap. You're triple capping, right? Triple cap? Because Jeff asked, is Erling triple cap cool? It's cool. Jitterbug said, is Holland triple cap a bad idea if Rodri's still on the bench for Ipswich? Maybe City are less likely to put up a big score. I'm leaning towards just going for it anyway. Would that change it for you?
No, I mean, Kovo is as good as anyone I've ever watched in my life. I think Ipswich, they had this first little initial inauguration to the league, and I mean, going to the Etihad is going to be a very different proposition than when they're at home with all their fans. Like, I imagine a City goal in the first 15 minutes, and I imagine this being a just fucking, like a complete fucking.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to remotely be a game.
No, it shouldn't be. And my concern is that it's going to be 3-0 and they're going to just stop playing. But, even when
it's 3-0, he's bracing.
He got 2 returns, so... Yeah, I mean, Ipswich, I think, they're riding high on the crest of the wave of Portman Road, like playing at home. And, I think going over here, and they're probably going to have like a little false bravado of like, oh, we're not that bad. And they go to City and be like, oh my God, like we're fucked. Like, this is the well-oiled machine kind of thing, right? Like that they're just going to get churned in and churned out.
I feel like they're probably a little bit happy to just have Liverpool and City and just get it out of the fucking way. And
why not?
Neil mentioned that, like, their season starts in game week 3. That's when points matter, and they can just get used to the league and get make some transfers or whatever until then. So
and I love that this game is just in the kibosh of the big slate. Like, it's not an ISO game. There's no extra attention. Like,
it's not even a TV game. It's Peacock.
This is, well, I don't know what it is in England, but this is like the 5-0 under the radar. No one watched it. No one cared because they knew they were going to win, and Haaland scored 5 goals. So I'm just like, yes, please. Like, give me that one, please.
Oh, man.
It's all the stars aligned.
I haven't really thought about it, but let's talk more about it on Thursday because I have Haaland and I maybe should triple cap him too. And then the actual last question was Slim. He said, is it insane to not free hit to get Haaland for Gameweek 2? He doesn't own him. I just have to pick the right captain, right?
Well, if you don't own him, you're probably, 18, 15-ish points on the good from everyone else, assuming
because you have Saka and Kai and Mo or whatever.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think you just...
who do you cap?
Who do you cap this week?
Look at the fixtures.
It's Mo. Easy Mo.
I guess it has to be Mo.
Yeah, it's easy Mo. I think you cast your die game week 1, and just because he scored a goal against Chelsea and 7 days passed doesn't mean that your decision 7 days ago is different, or it's not even about correct or incorrect, but like you chose this. So, free hitting when you didn't set your team up to free hit, I think is incorrect. And taking a hit to get Haaland in is also, I think, incorrect.
Well, that's the absolute worst option of all of them. But I think I still would. Like, I don't think anything has really changed regarding Haaland or City. And I think I would do it if I was in the imaginary position of, free hit. Like, if I was on 90 points.
Didn't plan to free hit.
But I would have, and I think he did too.
Oh, he did plan to free hit.
I think so. It's not clear in the question, but like, your team doesn't really change that much if you plan to or don't plan to, right? Because if you have guys in your team who have good Game Week 2 fixtures, just keep them on your free hit, right? Like, the whole point of free hitting is just keep my good guys, but get in Haaland, Kevin, Foden or something like that, or Haaland, Kvard, and Foden, or whoever, your favorite 3. Doku, maybe. I think I would still do it. I think it's we've seen enough. And like you said, there's a pretty good chance of like 3 to 5-0. Like, as good as you could get for that.
Yeah.
So I like attacking it.
Okay.
In Arsenal, they could score 3, but they're away Villa. Like, it's not easy or good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, dude. So many new signups. So many asses to slap. So little time.
Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone. Alex Ginty, FPL Campos, Ian Rogers, Stuart, Richard, Matthew DeGroot, Chris, Yagavolan, Lee Kennedy, Mike Vatt, Robert Bernhard Gisalson, Ole Storas, Dean Stallions, Ivan Shaw, DG, Nathaniel Nibelink, Jeff Marquis, Daryl Armstrong. Yes, baby. Get in there. Good job by you. Any last words, dude?
Not seeing you tomorrow.
We're back, baby.
Yeah, we're not back. So you're going to England.
I'll be in London on Wednesday.
So my life, this is also, if anyone's still listening,
no one's
I will
still
be doing
listening.
A solo My Life
monologue
this week.
If you remember.
What?
If you remember to do it.
Yeah.
and you have to remember to hit record.
Well, we have a lot of factors going against us all. A lot of factors. But I'm going to do a solo My Life, which has never been done before. It could be terrible, but we'll see what happens.
I'm so excited to listen.
Oh my God.
You have no idea. Dude, imagine I did a solo and you just you're on vacation. It's like so good.
And then live stream on Friday. I never solo live stream because they're always with me.
Yeah, there's a group of friends.
They always and then it's weekend. But then we'll be back at it normal pod next Monday, right?
Yeah, Monday I'll still be in the UK, but we'll be podding like normal, and then I'm flying back next Wednesday, and then we'll be back for a normal Friday Night Live on Thursday.
Yeah. And then it's international break. Can't wait.
Oh my God, already. How already?
Of course it is already.
If anyone's going to be at Craven Cottage, by the way, Gaming 2, let's fucking go, dude. I'll be there. ESR Muniz.
You got to get Anthony, and that's your transfer.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
No, I get Adama.
Oh my God. All right.
Easy.
Later, Doug.
Gordon to Adama.
Easy move.
Check. us out at FMLFPL.com. Follow us on Twitter at FMLFPL. Support just Patreon.com/FML. Subscribe to the